Later, the quiet corner of Derbyshire that first witnessed the power of the bouncing bomb 60 years ago. There's more misery in store for rail commuters. Passengers on both local and long-distance trains are in for a year of disruption, with some parts of the West Coast Main Line being closed for 5 months as part of a rebuilding project. One of the worst-hit towns will be Macclesfield, and our transport correspondent Alan Whitehouse is there.
Well, Stuart, it's been a pretty miserable sort of a day down here in Macclesfield, and it's a pretty miserable outlook for commuters as well. This is the start of a year of intensive work on the West Coast Line. It's going to mean huge amounts of disruption for thousands of passengers, and it starts on Sunday when the line from Cheadlehume, from Manchester through Cheadlehume, down through Macclesfield and Stoke, closes completely for 5 months. There'll be no trains at all. Commuters and long-distance travellers will be on buses until late September. After all that, the line from Crewe to Cheadlehume will close for another 5 months until January next year, isolating places like Wilmslow and Holmes Chapel. In the middle of all that, in August, the line between Manchester itself and Stockport will close for 8 days, so all the trains will start and stop at Stockport. You'll need a bus ride to get into Manchester. And from January to May of next year, every weekend's going to be disrupted by work on the line from Stafford to Rugby. It's going to add up to longer journeys and disruption for thousands of passengers, and as you can imagine, many of them aren't looking forward to it. In fact, some passengers, like Simon Durnford, say they simply won't use the bus services that will replace the trains for up to 5 months at a time.
No way am I going to get a bus into Manchester. It's just far too long. It's at least 3 times the length of the journey to get in, and feel sick as a dog by the time you've sat on a bus going around every housing estate.
And the worry for the train companies is that thousands more passengers will follow suit and take to their cars or not travel at all.
Well, we are concerned that customers will be affected for a long period of time. And with that in mind, we're obviously laying on an extensive bus alternative service. We do believe that customers will return to rail. It is the best solution in the long term.
The West Coast Rail project's already a year late, and even with this year's intensive rebuilding work, it'll be another year before Virgin's Pendolino tilt trains can start running at 125 miles an hour.
A train service is the best way of getting to work. There's no doubt about it. Dedicated railway paths, fast and efficient. And what we're about is making it even more efficient and more reliable. That's why there's this short-term pain.
But whether rail passengers are prepared to put up with months more disruption remains to be seen.
Alan, these are drastic measures. Why are the train companies doing it like this?
I think what this amounts to, Stuart, is a drastic remedy for a drastic problem. The simple fact is that the West Coast Main Line was deteriorating more quickly than the engineers could repair it, using the traditional method of taking the line over at weekends and overnight. They needed a different solution, so they're going for this big bang approach where the line will be commandeered for 5 months, closed completely and handed back in first-class condition. But it is a drastic solution.
Many people, I suppose, will turn to the airlines. They must be rubbing their hands about this.
I think the airlines must be quietly turning cartwheels, because whichever way you look at this, there is going to be disruption to both commuters and long-distance travellers. And, we've seen lots of cheap fares introduced, not just from places like Manchester, but more recently from places like Blackpool. The airlines can clearly see an opening, and I think that's the gamble that the railway industry is taking using this method of closing the line in blocks for months at a time. They're taking a gamble that all their passengers are still going to be there in a year's time when the line's properly open for business again.
Alan in Macclesfield, thank you. Some more news stories now. A mother from Lancashire has successfully sued a hospital for failing to warn her that she was at increased risk of giving birth to a Down syndrome child at the age of 37. Anne Enright's daughter was born at Blackpool Victoria Hospital with the condition 6 years ago. She said she and her family had suffered psychological stress, and the High Court decided the hospital and Mrs. Enright's GP have been negligent not to tell her of the risks. The amount of damages has yet to be settled. A Merseyside teenager who cut off a man's hand with a samurai sword after a row in a Chinese restaurant has been sentenced to 8 years in prison. 19-year-old Sean Campbell was found guilty of grievous bodily harm last month after chopping the man's hand off outside the restaurant. He'd previously denied the charge, but the court heard today he admitted causing the terrible injuries. 2 pedigree puppies have been returned to their owner in Cheshire days after they were stolen by thieves. Ozzy and Scylla, worth £10,000 each, were found by police raids in the Netherton and Crosby areas of Merseyside. 3 men and a woman are being questioned by the police. It's 60 years to the day since the Dam Busters raid made national heroes of the airmen of 617 Squadron. Before their mission to drop bouncing bombs on dams in Germany, the pilots practiced low-level flying over Derbyshire's Derwent Valley. Now a helicopter company is taking tours to where the crew trained for one of the most daring and dangerous sorties of World War II. Carol Lowe reports.
On the night of May the 16th, 1943, 19 Avro Lancasters built here in the northwest and carrying bouncing bombs set off on what was to become the most famous air raid of the Second World War, the breaching of the great dams of the Ruhr Valley. Their aim was to paralyse the enemy's industrial heartland.
We're lucky in the sense we got it spot on the second run we made. Released the mine. We blew the bottom out of the dam, and when we climbed and got over way out the distance, we could see the top of the dam breaking away as well.
The success of the operation depended on precision bombing. They had to be dropped from a height of 60 feet. Led by Wing Commander Guy Gibson, the pilots did some training over Derbyshire's Derwent Reservoir.
It does give you a feeling for how difficult it must have been.
60 years on, and a helicopter company is taking tours over that area of the Peak District.
In the last, I would say, 2 years, we've probably flown about 1,400 people down the dams. And this year, of course, is the 60th anniversary of the Dam Buster raid, and the interest has been overwhelming.
Aircraft fitter Ron Barton never went out on the raid, but knew those who did.
I got to know quite a few of them, particularly one called Barlow, who was on 61 Squadron with me, a pilot, and of course he crashed on the raid or got killed. They were just ordinary people doing the job.
Carol Lowe, Northwest Tonight.
Bailouts out of any normal physiotherapist. As a game, rugby league boasts of being ever harder, ever faster, but it's taking its toll on the players. The Wigan Warriors treatment room. It's been one crisis after another here. At the height of their problems, 11 of the first team players were out injured.
The game has changed so much since I've been involved with it, and it is that much faster. Impacts are so much stronger, and lads, they're athletes. They really are powerful lads. So, you know, you're going to get more injuries, and more serious ones.
When you break it down, this is what they've been dealing with at Wigan. And it's not minor injuries, but broken limbs and ligaments torn away from bones. There have been 3 serious shoulder injuries, 7 players with knees in need of treatment, and numerous other problems.
Last season I sort of missed, you know, from August onwards with a knee injury, and then come back this season and sort of missed the last month with a hamstring injury. So it's very frustrating, but yeah, we'll be back on the pitch soon.
Wigan fans will breathe a sigh of relief to hear that Captain Andy Farrell is due back for their game against Warrington tonight. He's not played since damaging a knee in the opening game against Castleford in February.
You try and have a stronger squad as you possibly can, and have players that can come in and fill those players. Obviously they're very hard to fill, the calibre of that type of player. But you know, you set your certain plans and patterns around around the team basis, not on the individuals. Obviously certain individuals fit in that pattern better than others. But you know, guys have stepped into the fray and done a good job, and you know, haven't let us down. You know, having Faz back will be a big difference for us in what we do, and hopefully give us more scope.
Since the advent of the salary cap in rugby league, the big teams have had to develop their youth systems. Wigan can be grateful. They've been using theirs to prop up a depleted squad. And they've done them proud. Now on to football. And Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy may be forced out of England's forthcoming football internationals after his manager Gerard Houllier revealed the player is carrying a neck injury. Like Everton striker Wayne Rooney, Murphy will be assessed by the FA's medical team before a final decision is made on his selection. Now Manchester City have moved a step nearer to a place in next season's UEFA Cup after being named as England's candidates from the European Fair Play League. A place is reserved in the competition for the team who've shown good discipline and sportsmanship. City's participation depends on whether England remain top of the international fair play table. Now, a village football team from West Lancashire is just one step away from winning non-league's most prestigious cup competition. Burscough take on Tamworth in the final of the FA Trophy on Sunday. The players were cheered on their way by supporters, and our reporter Richard Askham was with them.
A big send-off for a small village team, preparing for the most important match in Burscough's history.
It just brings tears to your eyes because it's such an achievement, and the boys have all worked so, well, everybody's worked so hard, and I wish them all the luck in the world because they deserve it.
It's great for the village, great for everybody.
The green and white colours of the team are everywhere, and the talk in all the shops has only been about one thing.
Nothing else to talk about. They've even stopped talking about the weather because, you know, it's just Burscough, and, you know, we're all wishing them well and hoping that they'll have a fantastic time.
They've already defied the odds to make the final at Villa Park, led by their inspirational player-manager, who is a former Aston Villa defender, knows the venue for this year's non-league showpiece event very well.
I honestly thought I'd never get a chance to play there again. So at 39, coming on 40 next year, you know, it's just a fabulous moment for myself.
And for most of the players in the Unibond League side, it'll be the biggest day of their careers.
Really looking forward to it the whole weekend. Great achievement for us to get to the final, and now we're just going to go down there and enjoy it.
So will the village. About 2,000 supporters, a quarter of Burscough's population, are expected to make the journey to the Midlands.
For a club like Burscough, just making the final of the FA Trophy is a dream for all these fans from the West Lancashire village, but some are just starting to believe that they might actually bring the trophy back, and if they do, the celebrations here really will be something to look forward to. Richard Askham, North West Tonight at Burscough Football Club.
Good luck to them. Cricket now, and on the third day of Lancashire's county championship match against Essex, it's been a total washout. Lancashire will be frustrated that there's been no play after putting themselves in a strong position. In their second innings, Essex are still 119 runs adrift of the Red Rose County's first innings total. Now, one final thing, Stuart. The Manchester 10k run has now achieved its target figure of 10,000 very keen runners. Good luck to them.
10,001. I'm going to give that Gordon Burns a run for his money.
You're not.
I am. It's going to be a big event for
it.
Manchester, and there's another one taking place right now. Diane is in Exchange Square. Diane.
Hi Stuart, welcome back. We are just minutes away now from the launch of Manchester's unique broadcasting experiment. This 25-metre screen, which is just about to be unveiled, is going to be the real focal point in Manchester for live programmes, live events broadcast live into the heart of Manchester. Not just that, there's going to be a rolling text news service provided by BBC I in the heart of Manchester. All of these things combine to make it, well, it's the only one of its kind anywhere in the world. Councillor Richard Lees joins me now. It is hugely impressive, isn't it, Richard?
Oh, the screen is absolutely fantastic. We can't see it now. The sound is absolutely fantastic. And of course, it's yet another Manchester first. Manchester working with partners, particularly the BBC and Philips, building on the past, building on the success of the Commonwealth Games to bring really a whole new era of public broadcasting, and Manchester's getting it first.
And of course, it was tried very successfully during the World Cup last year. This now sees it a permanent feature for a year. It's great, isn't it?
It is great. It was tried at World Cup, Commonwealth Games. People wanted to come out and enjoy experiences together. This will really take that a step further, and this is, I think, going to be one of the best family days out in Manchester. Can you imagine? Go out for the day and watch TV. That's what people are going to be doing.
I think they will. Thank you for that today. Now, if only we could do something about the weather, because obviously this is not ideal, and we've had a poor day. We've had a poor day all the way through. Now the rain has taken some time to move away. It's still lingering across many parts of the region, but we're starting to see the back edge of it on the radar pictures now, and I think over the next couple of hours that clearance starts to move in just about everywhere. Obviously no brightness now, but once the sun has gone down, I think you'll catch a couple of spots of drizzle in a very cloudy night. Now the temperatures will hold up very well. You're looking at 8 as an absolute minimum, 10s and perhaps 11s in towns and cities. Now we move into Saturday, and it's better than today, that's for sure, but the whole of the weekend continues to be rather unsettled. I think fairly cloudy through the day Saturday, a couple of bright spells every now and then, a couple of bright spells coming through during the morning. Once we get through to Saturday lunchtime, we could start to see a couple of showers breaking out, and the forecast sequence shows a couple of those showers being really quite heavy. But I don't think they'll stay all the way through the afternoon. As we start to move toward the tea time period, they should largely die away in a reasonable afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow, not bad. We're looking at 15. We only saw 12 today, so it did feel quite cool. Moving through to Sunday, and one step better, but still unsettled. I think for the most part it's dry and it could be relatively bright, but toward the end of the day we'll start to see an area of rain moving in. So clouding up through Sunday afternoon. Top temperature though, slightly better. We're looking at 16. We start the rest of the week, well, again, it's unsettled. It's a combination of sunny spells and scattered showers. Back to you, Stuart.
Thanks, Diane. At least you're not getting wet now, eh? Now, their jangling guitars and maudlin lyrics shape the consciousness of a generation. And this week marks the 20th anniversary of the Smiths' first single. To celebrate, if that's the right word for a band famous for their less than cheery tunes, the BBC has been hosting a special event in Salford. Philip Bromwell went along.
The devil will find work for idle hands to do.
Theirs was a rock and roll alchemy that produced indie music gold. 20 years on, and the trademark gladioli still stalk the streets of Salford where it all began.
The Smiths mean to me my life, really. Totally devoted, totally love them, saved my life on many an occasion, and they'll always be with me until the day I die.
I think Morrissey is just a character that he's created for himself and for others, and I mean, there'll be no one else I would hold gladioli for.
And if you're mad about Morrissey, you have to pose outside the Salford Lads Club, a celebrated Smiths landmark. Inside, 20th anniversary celebrations organised by BBC Six, the rock and pop digital station.
It's massively flattering. That's the only way I can describe it. I mean, it's great to have been in a group that has influenced so many people and people have brought a lot of happiness and joy to the lives.
Happiness and Joy, this was the band that gave us songs like Girlfriend in a Coma.
Musically it's very, very unique, and it's also got Morrissey's lyrics, which are very intelligent and very witty. A lot of people got put off the Smiths thinking that it was miserablist, and there used to be a phrase about the Manchester miserablists with minds as narrow as their ties, but if you actually pay attention to his lyrics, they're very, very funny. Girlfriend in a Coma, things like that. Certainly had me chuckling.
The end of the day saw David and James battle it out in a competition to find the band's most obsessive fan. The winner, this charming man. The loser, well, heaven knows he's miserable now. Philip Bromwell, North West Tonight, Salford.
Well, that's all from me this evening, but we're going now back to Diane in Exchange Square, where they're about to unveil the new big screen. Go for it.
Yeah, welcome back. The aerial artist Viva, who we all know very well, is just about to launch this huge, unique screen. As I said before, it is the only one anywhere in the world. It's a one-of-a-kind. It's going to become the focal point for live televised events. And of course, its big event tomorrow, the FA Cup final. The kick-off is at 3 p.m, Arsenal versus Southampton, closely followed on the 24th of May by a very different kind of event, the Eurovision Song Contest. Now think, that is going to be a very good night out. If you're out in Manchester city centre, you'll be able to see the Eurovision as you travel from pub to pub. So I think it's definitely going to be a real asset to our city. We tried it last year during the Commonwealth Games and during the World Cup. We tried it and Manchester really did like it. So the good news is now this, in a moment, 25 metres, the only one of its kind anywhere in the world, well, it becomes a permanent feature here in the heart of Manchester. It's a permanent feature for a year. I hope we all enjoy it. Take it away, girls.
Welcome back. The woman who shot her husband's pregnant mistress at point blank range has been found guilty of murder and given a life sentence. Rena Salmon admitted killing Lorna Stewart at her beauty salon in West London, but said she'd pulled the trigger in a trance-like state. Doctors here have criticised a new study which suggests that the dangers from passive smoking are exaggerated. Scientists in California say they found no evidence of an increased risk of major health problems, but many other medical experts say the research is flawed. The woman who accused Neil and Christine Hamilton of rape faces what the judge called a substantial sentence today. The jury in the case decided that Nadine Milroy Sloan made the whole story up. The Hamiltons have been describing how they got through the 18 days before the police dropped the charges. Hundreds of British tourists are still stranded in Kenya tonight. British flights to and from there have been suspended indefinitely after yesterday's terror alert. This evening, Kenya's security minister has said the threat was specifically aimed at British Airways. Well, there's an update on all the day's stories in the news show on BBC Three, and that's at 7:45. Have a good weekend.
Cosy cottages, fresh air, and the timeless rhythms of country living. What could be nicer? Well, a lot, actually. Village life can mean isolation, low incomes, and sky-high house prices. The Politics Show this week looks behind the picture postcard images. That's the Politics Show with me, Jim Hancock, and Jeremy Vine, live from the Peak District, Sunday at noon on BBC One.
Good evening. Well, I don't think it's an understatement to say it's been a dreary day for most of us. The rain has been very persistent. In some places it has rained literally all day. And this weekend, well, we've got low pressure still in charge, and with it weather fronts. Those weather fronts will give some bands of rain. The first one in the north on Saturday, another one coming into the southwest during the day, and then on Sunday we lose that one to the north and find a new area of low pressure bringing rain in during the day on Sunday. Now, if we take a closer look at that, by Sunday night we might actually see the winds increasing as well, perhaps getting up to around gale force in the southwest approaches. Those strong winds will transfer to the east coast by Monday. So rather unsettled then. Tonight we've got two weather fronts, hence why it's taking a long time to clear away. It will be up across Scotland and eastern areas of England by the end of the night, and behind it there will be one or two showers. It will turn quite misty and murky, and it will be a mild night as well. So Saturday morning we start off with the rain across the north then. Behind it though, for many areas, you can see it will actually be fairly dry, just one or two showers dotted around after a fairly murky start. Out of the southwest though, already the rain will be across southwest England, Wales and Northern Ireland, and that will just head its way northwards and eastwards during the day. We'll see some heavy showers ahead of it though across Scotland, perhaps rather thundery. The top temperatures in the rain 12 or 13, at the very best ahead of the rain around 17. And then for the FA Cup final, where it does look as though it could be rather wet for your journey there. That's it from me for now. Bye-bye.
It's arrived, an all-new bargain hunt live, and boy has Mr. Dickinson got a little gem lined up for you bargain hunters. Beautifully aged with lots of character. You won't find this one in your granny's attic. Nicely bronzed, a real Bobby Dazzler. Definitely one for the ladies. But that's enough about David. You want to know about the antiques, so you'll have to watch the show. Two teams, loads of antiques. And the Duke, Bargain Hunt. Every weeknight at 7, starting Monday, live on BBC One. Anything could happen.
Cotton chips, please, love. Yeah, I'll have the scampi. All right. Well, the family been giving me a chip about getting 8 BBC channels. Oh, yeah? I've been thinking about that myself. Oh, no. Not you two.
Well, look at what you get. Drama, documentaries, interactive sport.
Seems a bit of a palaver to me.
No, not at all.
You can already get 8 BBC channels with others on cable and satellite. But now you can also get them on Freeview, a new package of 30 channels.
You can get Freeview with a TV adapter for around £99. One-off payment, no contract.
What about the comedy?
Here, where's the fella gone that ordered the scampi?
Don't you worry about that, love.
For your free guide, call 08700 10 10 10.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
The FA Cup Final.
The realization of a long-held dream and the world showcase for a player's talents. The proudest moment in a career.
Or the worst day of a footballer's life. Come and get it!
The FA Cup final tomorrow at 12:10 on BBC One, BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC I.
Wife swapping with the Beckhams and the Osbornes. How's Ozzy going to react? Alistair McGowan's making the big impression tonight at 9 here on BBC One.